Welcome to Friday Morning Dharma on Friday, September 20th. Let's go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. Using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your body and your mind to start to settle and to rest, to become quiet and still, like a mountain. Be a still mountain. And when you are ready, in your own time, please gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Become the silent observer of sensations within your body and allow a more tranquil, supple, awakened state of awareness to emerge. No one acknowledges the mountain. No one praises the mountain. No one has expectation about the mountain. Nonetheless, the mountain simply observes day after day, year after year, century after century. Rain may fall on the mountain or not. The wind may blow, the sun may shine, a flock of migrating birds may fly past the mountain. The mountain simply observes. No judgment, no labeling, no comparing, no speculation. Be a mountain, whether anyone acknowledges you or not. Be a mountain with ancient wisdom consciousness as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. Please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky. We dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings soon come to enjoy a state of perfect, complete fearlessness. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you. Thank you. So we are continuing with our discussion of training in tenderness. We're on the chapter clinging to the self, the sense of self, also known as the ego, also known as I, clinging to the self, the root of all impediments. And what we're going through right now, in particular, is something that is called identifying the object of negation. Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to do? Identify the object of negation. It's really important in our coming to bringing ourselves to a point where we awaken to the illusory self. We've got to identify the thing that needs to be negated. Negated again being, I read the definition on Monday and I mostly remember it. It's like coming to see that the thing we perceived is actually the opposite of how we perceived it, something like that. And before I share from Training in Tenderness, I'd like to read a couple of paragraphs from one of my all-time favorite books. When You Greet Me, I Bow. When You Greet Me, I Bow by Norman Fischer. One of my very favorite books. I'm on my third time reading it. And I'm going to read from the chapter called Form is Emptiness. So Norman Fischer writes, and really what we're talking about here is identifying the emptiness of the sense of self. Dzigar Kongtrul in Training in Tenderness hasn't referred to it as such yet, But that is, please know, that is what he's moving toward, is an identification of the emptiness of our sense of self. And Norman Fischer makes a really, really important point in his book, in this chapter, Form is Emptiness. He writes, traditionally, emptiness refers to the fact that phenomena have no intrinsic existence. This means not that phenomena don't exist at all, but that they don't exist as we think they do. Okay, really, really important point. When we talk about the emptiness of the self or the emptiness of anything, we're not saying that nothing is there. We're saying, as Norman Fischer writes, they don't exist we don't exist in the way that, they don't exist as we think they do, as freestanding, independent, solidly real entities. Okay. This is as true of us as it is of the world around us. Everything is contingent, not solid, ceasing the moment it arises, moment after moment. Now, there's a lot in that second sentence there, and we don't have time to get into it at all. He's saying a lot of things, one of which is that all products are impermanent, arising and ceasing moment after moment. But that paragraph is short, and I just want to read it again. Traditionally, emptiness refers to the fact that phenomena have no intrinsic existence. This means not that phenomena don't exist at all, but that they don't exist as we think they do, which is, we think, as freestanding, independent, solidly real entities. Okay? So later on, next paragraph, Norman Fischer writes, this is really important, and I love how he puts this. We, of course, don't know this. We are, according to the emptiness pundits of Buddhism, deeply ignorant of the one thing we should not be ignorant of. I'm going to read that again. We are, according to the emptiness pundits of Buddhism, deeply ignorant of the one thing we should not be ignorant of, and that is the real nature of ourselves and the world we live in. Ignorance, unfortunately, doesn't mean that we don't know, right? That's the traditional use of the word ignorant, right? We just don't know. I know you guys know, ignorant is not the same as being stupid. It's just a not knowing. Traditionally, in contemporary society, that's how we use it. Ignorance, unfortunately, doesn't mean that we don't know. It would be better if we didn't know. Yeah. Ignorance in this context means we know something very firmly, but it is the wrong thing. So he's saying here, the thing we know is a wrong knowing. It's not just an absence of knowing, it's we know something, but we know it wrong. Okay? We know that things are solid and independent and intrinsically existent, but they are not. So, ignorance is not, stay with me here, or stay with Norman Fischer here. So, ignorance is not knowing. Ignorance is a form of knowing, but it is a misknowing. And spiritual practice is the process of coming to see our misknowledge and letting it go, to begin to experience, accept, and live the truth about how we and the world actually are. When we begin to understand and to live in this way, there's a great decrease in the fear and dread so common in human experience. caused by the huge gap between our expectations and the way things really are. With an appreciation of the empty nature of things, there are no more foiled expectations. There is a lot more joy, peace, and love. So what we're going through, this process that we're going through, is relearning, kind of like unwinding this misknowing, as Norman Fisher calls it, and coming to re-know all phenomena in our world, including our sense of self. Not saying that there's nothing there. There's no such thing as nothing. As long as there's a mind there perceiving, there's not nothing there. Okay. But that's kind of a existential topic for another time. There's no such thing as nothing. There's just a misapprehension, a misknowing of the thing, of phenomena. And what we're going through right now is to identify that thing that we're misknowing. We're going to negate the object and replace it with a correct understanding, a correct knowing of the phenomena, and most importantly, our sense of self, the illusory self. We're going to come to identify and negate the illusory self, and then come to relearn, re-know, and most importantly, re-experience what's actually there in terms of our sense of self, and that is an absence of an intrinsically existing self. Okay, I had every intention of reading a paragraph out of Training in Tenderness, and I don't think there's time to do that. I would run way over. Couple of announcements. One is, do you remember a few weeks ago when I told you about the thing that the person said to me? The person said, this was after a 7 a.m. meditation, and we were talking about ringing the bell. We ring a bell to start and end every 7 a.m. meditation here at Lotus Center. And somebody said, you can tell the degree to which a person is enlightened by how they ring the bell. Remember that? Remember that? And remember my loving, kind of playful homework assignment that I offered was, is that true? Why or why not? Yeah. You can tell the degree to which a person is enlightened by how they ring the bell. Is that true? Why or why not? We'll talk about that on Monday, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. So please come prepared if you feel called to share your thoughts on that statement, whether it's true or not, and why or why not. Also, I have the great privilege of being invited to be the speaker at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship's Sunday morning gathering. That's this Sunday at 10 a.m. Those of you who live in Silver City, please feel free to drop in for that. Those of you who live remotely, merrily in California, I understand that they have a Zoom option, so you might want to look into that and maybe Zoom in if you have time and feel called to do so. Thank you, you guys. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're most welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Goodbye.
Bye, Grace.